You're listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast with registered patent attorney, Dr. Adam Diamond, founder of Diamond Patent Law, the #1 source for securing your intellectual property needs. Now, here's your host, Adam Diamond.
Hello and welcome to the Patenting for Inventors podcast, episode 44, Options for Responding to Your First Office Action. My name is Dr. Adam Diamond, a registered patent attorney and founder and owner of Diamond Patent Law in Los Angeles, California. I can be contacted through my website at diamondpatentlaw.com, that's D-I-A-M-E-N-T, patentlaw.com, or if that's too hard to remember, you can get through it by going to patentingforinventors.com, that's patentingforinventors.com, or call me at 424-281-0162. And while most attorneys can only practice in states where they're members of that state's bar, patent attorneys are actually allowed to practice patent law in any state, so feel free to contact me regardless of where you live. This is going to be a pretty short episode because I'm just going to go over the 3 main things you can do when you receive your first office action. I talked about how to read an office action in the last episode. I say first office action because if you get a final office action, which is usually your second office action, there are a lot more options to think about and it can get pretty complicated. In the last episode, I told you how to read an office action. You look to see what the objections are and what the objections are. You basically have 3 options, and I call these the 3 A's. You could abandon, amend, or argue. Let's go over the first one, abandoning it. This is just basically ignoring the office action. If you ignore the office action, your application will go abandoned. Now, why would you do this? Let's say you came up with an invention, you submitted an application to the patent office, and the patent examiner finds the exact same thing already exists. If it's really the exact same thing, there's nothing you can really do to get a patent. So what you'll probably do is just ignore the office action and let it go abandoned. Now you can write to the patent office expressly abandoning it, but I'd recommend not doing that and just not responding at all because you might change your mind later about whether you want to respond and you don't want anything on record saying that you've abandoned it. Sometimes you might want to abandon an application even if you think you can get a patent because maybe you decided that you're just not going to go to market with this product. There are lots of reasons why you might want to abandon. And it's often because there are things that are just too similar out there and it would be too much of a hassle and not worth your time and money to try to fight it to get a patent because there's a good chance that you might not get it at all. The second option is to amend your claims or just fix up some other part of the application that the examiner says needs fixing. Let's say the examiner rejected your claims because something like your invention already exists, something that you've already talked about or that you claimed as your invention. You claim, let's say, for example, you claimed a mechanical pencil having parts A, B, and C. The examiner found a pencil that already has parts A, B, and C. And let's say you actually agree with the examiner that you can't get a patent on a mechanical pencil that has parts A, B, and C only. But let's say that even though you didn't claim it in your claim section, in your description, you also talked about a variation of your pencil that had part D. And this part D doesn't exist anywhere in any mechanical pencil. What you can do is amend your claims so that your claimed invention not only requires parts A, B, and C, but also requires part D. You amend your claims and basically ask the examiner to review your new claim and ask for an allowance. The third option is to argue, and you want to argue that the examiner was incorrect in the rejection. Let's go back to the mechanical pencil. You claimed a pencil having parts A, B, and C. The examiner rejected your pencil because he or she found a pencil that also has parts A, B, and C. I'm just going to give an example that's not a real-world example, but just something to help you out. Some mechanical pencils have a button that you click to make sure more lead comes out. And let's say that's part A. And let's say the examiner found a pencil that doesn't have a button that you click, but instead has a knob that you can twist in order to make more lead come out. If you claim that A was a clickable button, and the examiner rejected your claim and said that the pencil they found had a clickable button, what you do is you respond to the examiner, you argue to the examiner, and point out their errors. You would say something like, the references you cited does not teach a mechanical pencil having a clickable button. Therefore, the prior art does not teach each and every limitation of the claims, and therefore a Section 102 rejection is improper. I'm just giving that as a very simple anticipation rejection under Section 102. It might be rejected for other reasons. The point isn't the type of rejection. The point is that you just have the option of not changing anything in your application at all, and just pointing out how the examiner made a mistake in the rejection by misreading the prior art. And in view of the mistake, the examiner should reevaluate your claims and issue your patent. In reality, the second option where you make amendments and the third one, which is where you make arguments, usually go together. You don't just want to make amendments and not explain them. You want to make amendments and then explain how and why these changes or amendments make your claims allowable compared to how they weren't allowable before. So that's basically it. The three options you have are abandon, amend, and argue. There is something else you can do before you do any of these, and that's to set up an interview with the patent examiner. You might get a better idea of what your strategy should be if you set up an interview, and I'll go over examiner interviews in a later episode. If you want help with drafting your patent application, you can contact me through my website at patentingforinventors.com, that's patentingforinventors.com, or diamondpatentlaw.com, that's DIAMENT, patentlaw.com, or call me at 424-281-0162. I'm Adam Diamond, and until next time, keep on inventing.
Thanks for listening to the Patenting for Inventors podcast with host Adam Diamond. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review on iTunes. The contents of this podcast are intended for general informational purposes only. The facts of every legal matter are unique, and the content of this podcast should not be construed as offering legal advice for your specific legal situation. For more information and help with your own intellectual property needs, contact Adam Diamond at patentingforinventors.com. That's patentingforinventors.com. or call Diamond Patent Law at 424-281-0162. The preceding information may be considered an attorney advertisement and does not establish any attorney-client relationship.